and hang around. Okay, possibly for upgrades to the costume. Welcome. I think most of you guys are in here. Please turn on your cell phones, your computers from the Wi-Fi so that we can help record this. Thank you. And please silence your phone. I did that.
We
Welcome
used
back,
to do
Zachary Harper.
If somebody's phone went off, we used to have a $25 donation to Carrie.
Yes, we did.
Remember that? I think we should bring that back.
Okay, proposals on the table.
We haven't really had a phone go off, have we?
No, phones haven't been that bad. It's more the Wi-Fi that has been the offense. You can buy and find you connected to the Wi-Fi. You can buy $5, you know, it's okay. Come on in.
You look cold.
I am a little cold, to be honest. I had a sweater on. I had a sweater on. Okay. We had somebody to welcome back. Who are we welcoming back?
I'm sorry.
We got distracted. Zachary Harper, welcome back, Zachary Harper. Welcome back. See, you're not here, okay. And welcome aboard, Alexa. Very cool. Oh, and welcome Aaron Murphy. Welcome. And you guys keep your eye out on our internal Facebook page. We're posting little bits of information about people on their way in so that you can connect with them and welcome them.
An idea,
Yes.
because we have somebody who's just their second time here
Yeah.
in the room.
Yeah.
If they're in the room for the first time, they should introduce themselves.
I love that.
Sabia, you want to stand up and introduce yourself? And then you.
My name is Renee, and nice to meet you all. Hopefully I get to.
Sue, hey, where'd you get your license?
Well, I'm waiting on my number, so.
Okay, but you passed the exam.
Yeah, I did.
Welcome, awesome. So excited to have you. I think she was good as well.
Yeah.
I was like,
Thank you. My name is Will Watchits. I've recently joined Keller here in San Diego. I've been in residential real estate in the Bay Area for the last 10 years, both as an agent and a flipper, so it's kind of where my experience lies. So if I haven't met all you guys or some I've met, nice to see you and nice to meet you again. Thank you.
awesome. Anybody else in the room that is newer to us? All right, all you old timers. Glad your way, say hello. A reminder, on November 11th, we'll be closed for Veterans Day. Please, if you need access to anything, please see Ariana well in advance so that we can make sure that you have what you need. So we will be closed here. Gratitude moment. Does anybody have a gratitude moment that they want to start with? Otherwise, I have some to share. Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Jacqueline for putting together the Halloween giveaway. It just finished. It was a great excuse to reach out to people both I know and that I don't know all that well and that I've recently met. And while I will admit I half-assed it, I know now what to do better next time. And Jacqueline put together all the marketing materials. She put together the timeline. She did basically everything for us, plug and play. All you had to do was your job, make the phone calls, and it was amazing. And thank you.
Of course, happy to do it. And that's actually what I was going to give my moment of gratitude for. I tried to get this program up and running. It's something, to be totally honest, I stole from my previous market center. But for those of you that didn't hear about our Halloween giveaway, what we did is we all chipped in, each of us that participated as individual agents chipped in $25 so that collectively we could give away a $250 prize. And to be honest, it's just an excuse to call your database when you can't think of something to call about. So I saw entries coming in all morning. I was super excited for all of you guys, and I will give more notice. That's my my way. I can definitely do it better next time. So that the next time we do it, you guys will have a little more time to know about it, market it. It's a great excuse to reach out to your friends, your family, your database. I know we had some agent partners that were calling from out of state. They can enter as well, but great reason to get in front of your people.
Are we going to do that monthly, quarterly?
We had talked about doing it quarterly, because then that way you're not bombarding your database too much, but there's still opportunities. So I'm kind of looking into 2025. Ariana and I have an appointment on the calendar to look at building out the calendar for all next year. So my guess would be quarterly, unless feedback in the room. Do you guys think that's too much? About right? Quarterly? Quarterly. Okay. So we'll look at getting that on the 2025 calendar so you guys have way more notice going in. But awesome job reaching out because I saw the entries coming in. So good job, everybody. Any other moments of gratitude before we go on?
How about a happy birthday?
Yeah.
Dan Becker.
Dan Becker. Yay.
I'll second real quick what Stephanie said.
Yeah.
Grateful that you put it together. It was great. I mean, I was a lot busier than what I thought I would be. Till that last hour drag, I was like texting and saying, hey, if you don't have time to call, this is the information I need. Anyway, the other thing, Matt's not here, but Ed, Matt, the team at Movement Mortgage, now I had a chance to plug this, but my partner and I closed on our condo and Movement Mortgage was the lenders. They were excellent. They got our condo approved in I think it was 14 days. VA approved, complex. So that was the only issue we would have had. So I recommend if you've got VA clients, which I have a lot of them, so I would, if you're running across condos that aren't VA complex approved, get the commitment and they will get you taken care of because they were on it as soon as I let Matt know. He was already doing the research and we weren't under contract, but he was acting as if we were. So that gave us a little bit of a head start. So kudos to Movement for that. So.
This is Planning Clinic. A couple of you missed the one that we had before. If you guys haven't done your 2025 planning, it's October 30th. Let's just all agree that if you haven't done it, this is the QR code that goes straight to it. We'll be posting it on our Facebook page. Right now, I think, and Ashley will correct me if I'm wrong, this has only been opened up to you guys so you can register first. So if you haven't been, please just sign up now because otherwise you guys are going to ask me on November 13th and then it's sold out and then I'm like, sorry, I gave you a chance. Just, if you don't have your 2025 plan laid out, let's be there. Okay, glad we all agree. Market of the moment, I will skip this and move into the next part. KW Cares, I did want you guys to know that we are still ongoing doing KW Cares donations. Obviously, you guys know there's more than one hurricane that hit. The other thing that I wanted to share, and I will share this without any personal information attached to it because that's not the point of the story. The other thing KW Cares does is it helps in health instances. And so I won't share a personal story from anyone here in the Market Center, but I will to a team leader that I know who is out of Lake Elsinore. And she told me a story about KW Cares that really changed the way I thought about it. And she's a team leader now. Her mother is the OP. And prior to this team leader going into her position, she was in the military, she's a veteran, and when she was going through that, her mother had a health scare. And it was a pretty big health scare. And there was a moment where this friend of mine was like, we didn't know what we were gonna do. And my mother was running this Market Center and we turned to KW Cares and we were panicked. And it was this time when we really needed something. Like it was a really big deal to our family. We've been building this business through KW and she's like, I was away and I couldn't do anything and I was rushing home. And she said the fact that they were able to grant us money while my mother was in the hospital in that moment of need, she's like, I will never go anywhere. And like I said, now she runs, she's still very young, but she is so committed to running her business through KW because she's like, it's more than just real estate. She's like, until you're in that moment where you need the support with something you never saw coming, you don't know what a big deal it is. She is also 100% committed to giving back, what's called transactional giving. So although she's a team leader, she is also still actively a realtor. And every single transaction she closes, she gives an amount. It can be as small as $5. I know for a fact hers is more because of how she was impacted. But that is a goal that you'll be hearing more about. And I wanted to explain why that is so important. So I think my friend's story is just one that hit me. And I want to do a better job of sharing some of those personal stories because I think sometimes the enormity of a hurricane can be hard to kind of bring it back down to like, does my $5 on this transaction really matter? But it really does. And so I just wanted to share that story with you guys so you understood what transactional giving is. If you have a desire to commit to that, even if it's just committing to $5, see Ariana. she can set up your command system so that anytime you open an escrow, it just automatically sends $5, $10, $50, $100, whatever amount makes sense for you and your business. It's something I've committed to. I'm set up for 100% transactional giving, so every transaction I do, I donate to KW Cares. So wanted to share a little behind the scenes. I know we didn't,
We actually have a couple agents right now going through the process to get grants, and they're not insignificant amounts. And of course, we want to honor their privacy in those, but it's a lot of money, and you guys won't necessarily know if it's somebody in the office receiving it. So it's worth support.
so that's there. There's QR codes around, or just ask Ari. Yeah, Dan.
If you guys do your automatic setup with Ariana, you don't even miss the money when it comes out of your transaction every time you close.
Yeah, I don't see it. It's just always gone there. And then I still get a really big check. Awesome. Thank you guys. Oh, we have some people in the room. So, what I wanted to share with you guys is that for those of you that haven't been yet, we are officially on, Escrow Partners is officially on the second floor. So they're nice and close. I needed a net sheet the other day, and they were just right down the hall. It was so easy, and then my net sheet showed up. My phone's great. So I wanted you guys to know that Nicole and Christine are now here, not next door, but just one more door down. So they're in 201. So go see them, go say hi, pop in. The door's open, they're there business hours. But we're so excited to have them. And then we have some agents we would like to recognize. These are some agents that we have been seeing a lot of in Q4. So we wanted to congratulate all 4 agents for doing such a great job closing out 2024. We know that if you guys are this busy in Q4, looks like you're going to have a good 2025 because we've been talking to all of you and you're still hustling and working and doing all the things. I will share one other detail. Sam and Annie, you guys, they did it again. They got us into an escrow on the buy side. This is now the 3rd time this has happened. So we're seeing more of it. And I don't know the whys. Maybe it's just because we're starting to ask the question. But on the next slide, I just want to bring this back up. Go see Nicole and Christine over in the Escrow Partner Suite if you have questions. But we do have the ability to do this buyer's agent program where we can do a little welcome offer. Sometimes they've had a bad experience, and I think that's been the case in 2 of these situations where the listing agent had just come off of a really poor experience with their previous escrow company. They get to meet Nicole and Christine, and all of a sudden they're having this wonderful experience, and they're actually really excited about that buyer's agent that brought this opportunity. So just wanted you to share. Please go see them, talk details with them, have a conversation. They're so close by. And thank you guys for coming and dressing up. I love the skeletons. Participating. Okay, what else we got? Good stuff. Coach Alicia.
Here. Marlon's not here. I didn't see him, but he is joining me in my growth program. He's going to reset his real estate business. And then Prabat, who also is absent today, but deserves a big round of applause because he opened his first escrow. And Kevin King got a BRBC signed.
Not going to jail.
Thought that on your list. Gaga, these weren't on the list though. Gaga got a BRBC sign. And Greg got a BRBC sign.
Yes. So none of you are going to jail. I thought I was getting a bigger laugh out of me, to be honest. It was like, this was themed for you. The best laugh was much louder.
So, you guys, I got some great news for you. Rates are down to like 5.5% right now. Kidding! Yeah, not so much, but we're still chugging away. You know, the hardest part we're having is like people just wrapping their heads around these monthly payments, and the people that are ready are still buying. There's still transactions out there. If they're ready, they're willing, they're able, they're moving forward. The ones that are not, they're still on the sidelines, and we have to keep in touch with them. You guys, you can't like let them fall off. So I'm literally going back a couple of years to the people that have been telling me, hey, I'm going to wait for rates to come down. Okay, guess what? They haven't come down yet. You ready yet? So we're still following up with these folks for years on end, and hopefully presenting them with some value by us actually keeping in touch with them. One thing that I wanted to tell you guys, a newer program that we do have. Who here works with investors? Does anybody work with investors out there? Yep, kind of, sort of? All right.
Yeah.
So I took a couple of notes so I didn't miss any little pieces, but have you guys heard of a fix and flip loan? Anybody? No?
Is that a
So-
203?
So that's a renovation loan if you're going to be moving into it.
Got
This is an investor loan for a non-owner occupied property. Someone that's going to fix it, sell it, or fix it and then refinance it and hold on to it for a period of time. But it allows you to, very similar to a 203K, in kind of put together the cost of purchasing the property and doing the renovations on the property. So they take a look and they lend on the on the ARV, right, the after rehab value, and they can go all the way up to 85% of loan to cost. And so you'll have a scope of work put out there. If you're working with an investor, they'll have that scope of work from the general contractor. They'll have a number on there. They do very common sense analysis. It's not income based. They will look at credit. They will look at assets. You do have to have some skin in the game as far as the down payment is concerned. They will allow for first-time flippers as well. You will have to put more money down, 25-30%, but they do allow for you to be able to get your foot in the door to start doing these types of transactions.
Roughly, what's the cost?
There are points on the front end and on the back end of doing the transaction, but if you think about it, how else are you going to sometimes get that money to do that? To make that money, to add that value, to make that profit, right? So if you're making $200,000 as an investor on selling that property, what's a couple of points on that? You know what I mean? Like the bank's gonna have to make their points for taking the risk of giving you that money. Yeah.
Is the interest rate of the points that you're talking about, is that comparable, or how is that different than a hard money loan?
It's a lot less than a hard money loan. It's going to be in the teens a lot of times, where this is still in the single digits, in the higher single digits. But yes, it's in the single digits. And again, construction can be financed almost up to 100% of the construction. So depending on the scope of work that you're talking about, obviously, if you're buying a $600,000 unit and trying to put $800,000 of work into it, they're probably going to look at that a little bit sideways. But if you're buying $1 million property and you're adding a couple $100,000, building out ADUs count in there as well. So we have like 3 or 4 different investor partners now that offer this program. So if you guys have anybody that you're working with that comes across this that might need it, they offer it up as single family, all multifamily. Let me know. I'd love to talk to them. All right. Yes, Dan.
What's the time frame on these loans generally? Because like hard money loans tend to be really short.
Short,
So these are probably somewhere like close to a year or so.
So they allow, that's a great question. I'm sorry I didn't bring that up. So it's a 12-month balloon payment term, right? It's interest only for 12 months. So you can't go 2 years of sitting there and trying to build this place out. So it is 12-month balloon payment. And at that point, you're either refinancing. You can, if you're going to hold it, you can get a DSCR loan, for instance, right? That's a separate conversation we can have. But or you can just refinance it into a conventional loan, whatever. But yeah, 12 months, interest only, balloon payment at the end.
Thanks.
Cool, guys. Thank you.
Cool. And I missed something that I didn't get on the agenda. You had some culture announcements that I was gonna have you let her bring about.
First of all, thank you everybody for contributing to our potluck today. We had, as you can see, an overwhelming amount of costumes for the costume contest. It was really hard to pick. You guys just really outdid yourselves today. But honorable mention goes to our very own Jacqueline. That's pretty damn good, right? I did not account for group costumes, and unfortunately, the Starbucks gift card is only going to go so far. But the winner of our 2024 Halloween costume contest is our 2 skeletons. Share a latte together.
Thank you for that.
Yes. And coming up, we've got our potluck. Actually, it's really only a couple weeks away, Thanksgiving, but November 20th. So it's the week before Halloween or Thanksgiving is going to be our next potluck. It'll be here at 12:30, the same usual thing, and then we'll have our meeting afterwards. And then it's time to talk about our holiday party. I cannot believe we're already talking about the holidays, but here we are. So this year, we're going to do something a little different that we've never done before. I don't know about you guys, but this year has been kind of tough, hasn't it? It's been, I don't know about you guys, but it feels like we've been run over by a train a couple of times with all these new changes. And so we wanted to do something that was fun, that was interactive, and something that we haven't done before. While I'm not going to reveal all the details, I can tell you it is going to be a lot of fun and there's going to be a lot of laughs. So, our holiday party is scheduled for December 12th, and it's going to be here at the office from 3 to 6 p.m. We're going to have a lot of fun things. There's going to be prizes. We're going to have games. You can wear your ugly sweater. You can wear your prom dress. It's up to you. But we usually have an ugly sweater contest, so I would veer towards that. Anyway, keep that in your calendar for now, and we'll give you more details as we have them in the next couple weeks. But we're really excited. The Culture Committee has been working so hard on this holiday party, and we're so excited for you guys to come enjoy. So I hope you guys can all make it, and we'll see you then. Thanks.
Please coming up to some broker updates. There's one other thing that I didn't get up in time to make it on the slides. November 14th at 5 p.m. we are also doing an affiliate vendor night, and I know some of you haven't even heard about this before. It's an opportunity, if you have somebody who you work with that's really amazing in anything sort of pseudo-related to real estate, they can come in and they can sit at that night, and Ashley and I will be here to talk. We'll be here to talk them through what we have planned for 2025. We have some new fun things coming out. So for any amazing people that you work with that are affiliated, let me know. I'm happy. I'll get you a link and I can get them signed up for that. That's November 14th.
So they don't need to be committed already to that?
No, absolutely not. It's an information session. This is where they get to come ask all the questions. They get to see what new is coming up. Yeah, no commitment required.
Okay.
It was cool. The last one we had was actually really cool. It was small.
Yeah.
And we ended up doing a mastermind, and I actually helped some of the vendors come up with their business plan. They don't have that kind of support. You were here. And I want to do a whole business planning with them because you don't have that kind of support.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
All right, some negative broker updates.
Oh.
So if you were sitting in the room, I have 3, now I have 4. If you're sitting in the room hearing Eddie talk about the flipper loans, and you're sitting there thinking, I'm an agent, I can go do a flip. Yes, you can, you just can't do it here at KW Metro, because our insurance doesn't cover it, unfortunately. And you gotta get your own E&O insurance if you're gonna do your own flips. And set up your own corporation, and you cannot sell it under KW Metro because it's all about our E&O carriers. They have made it so impossible for flips, and they limit coverage.
There is a way to do it, though. They should come to you.
Yeah, come see me and I'll walk you through it. But it has to do with our coverage. It has nothing to do with me not wanting you to do it. It's just our carriers have gotten scared because Southern California is a hotbed of lawsuits, which is why our E&O insurance goes up and up and up and up and up. Who's familiar with, who follows the law AB 2992?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you're all aware of that? Takes effect January 1st.
Mike, what do you tell us?
Well, so this was in works prior to the NAR settlement.
Signed prior to going under contract, and
Yeah.
NAR takes precedent.
So in California now, it's the law, effective January 1st, you have to have a VRBC signed. Yeah, it's the law. So they've been working on this prior to the NAR settlement, so whether or not the NAR settlement actually gets approved by the DOJ, you will have to have it signed prior to doing any activities with your buyers. So show of hands and smiles, everybody here is gonna do that, right?
Yeah.
Because guess what, this is not monitored now by NAR, this is monitored by the DRE under investigation. And Ashley knows, right when this whole NAR launch was happening, I was going under a DRE audit because I had an agent that they were going after. We prevailed. I got my hand slapped because They got me under failure to supervise. And so I will be supervising you a lot more in writing to show that I do supervise you. So if you guys are getting more emails from me, like, God, Broker Bob is schooling me so much, that's my CYA now. Because just like you guys have to have a communication log in your deals, I have to show I'm telling them exactly what they should be doing to CYA. So AB 2992 takes effect January 1st, 2025. Friendly reminder, the lease documents in your zip forms to consummate a lease for a friend or a family or someone that owns real estate, you cannot use and have Keller Williams Metro on any of those documents. We just got another lawsuit last week from an agent that worked for us. It's no longer here. And she consummated the lease. Thank God our name wasn't on it, but the fact that she was under our license at that time is why they filed a lawsuit, because they pulled up the DRE records and saw it. So I'm serious about leases. I don't even want you taking lease listings anymore, because the tenants out there and the cottage industry from attorneys are making it impossible for this industry because they're suing. And that little case I'm in with an agent that got in trouble and said the wrong thing, $200,000 settlement is what it's costing us.
It's not costing us.
It will cost us in the long run because our insurance is going to go up when I go reapply next year, because we have to show, did you have to have any payouts? So with attorney's fees and all the other fees, $200,000. That just happened to me.
Did she make any money on that?
This agent made no money, and it cost $10,000 for the deductible. So if you want to sit through stupid claims like that to earn $80 off of a lease listing. So please, how long have I been talking about?
No way.
How long?
Forever.
Long time.
What if you're leasing your own place? What if you're leasing your own property?
Your own properties, you just can't put Keller Williams San Diego Metro on anything.
But you can use a zip form?
No, absolutely not.
Hey Robert, so we can't lease properties, is that right? I'm just clarifying.
Yes, you can.
Good.
Finally, when you take a listing, who has to sign that listing?
We do.
The legal entity, whoever's legally.
Well, if it's an entity, yeah, the right person that has the authority to sign. But let's say it's just a husband and wife. You know that, right? You can't just get one party to sign,
Yeah,
right?
you gotta get both.
Otherwise, it's unenforceable. So I had an agent lost a listing this week because she only got the husband to sign it. And the wife said, So you gotta understand that, right? All parties who are on title have to sign a lease. A listing. Sorry to be negative, Nancy. Were you guys here at risk management last week?
Yeah.
Was I grumpy?
Yep. I heard from other people.
I was channeling my inner Leona.
Do we have any property pages before I hand it over to Ross Swanson?
Yes, I do.
Chris Bay.
I just took in the seat in Alpine. It's the furthest east I've ever gone.
You said you'd never go again.
And no, it's the first time I've been there, and it is.
It's pretty though.
It's very beautiful. So anyway, this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,100 square foot with an extra room they're using as a gym. It's beautiful. It's on an acre. It's in the Deer Park community. The HOA fees are $129. My clients are pretty much moved out. They've already bought a house in Vegas. So they want to close this year. You guys, I'm going to tell you this all once. Not that I think any of you are going to take advantage of it, but shock me, please. You may come and advertise it. You may come and take videos of it. I've told you all this before. Please come do it. I invite you to come out. I will be there all weekend. Put it on Facebook. Do whatever the hell you want. Just advertise it. Go find a buyer. I found my key.
What's
What
the
time
address?
do you
Front?
there?
What's the address?
The
front?
address is 8841 Summer Hill Point. It's 998 900.
How close to the casino?
998 900.
That's how big it's a lot.
How close is it to the casino?
Right.
Another exit.
Okay.
Yeah. And what did you ask me?
998.
It's a lot.
What time do you leave?
12 to 3, Saturday and Sunday.
But that's on lockbox, so they can go whenever, right?
What's that?
It's on lockbox, so they can go.
No, it's not on lockbox.
Damn.
No, you cannot just go in. I have the key.
So what are you gonna do, run to Alpine when somebody wants to stand there? I'm
Yeah,
just
as a
asking.
matter of fact, I am.
It's vacant though, isn't it?
No, it's not.
It's a travel team, but we can't wait to come and see you because
No, it's good.
Well, you know what? Don't go. I mean, it's that
I should.
I just told you I was going to be there all this weekend.
Don't get annoyed.
You can have your cars.
Then don't go. I don't care. I mean, I'll give you the
Sounds like
opportunity.
this place gonna sell six.
All right. We ready?
Ready.
I wasn't gonna do this, and yet I'm going to because Eddie basically made me feel like we need to know, and we need to know time is short. Dana Dodson is terminally ill. And she's in hospice.
No.
I would encourage those of you who do know her and love her to give her a call. I found out the week my mom had her heart attack and I wasn't able to process it at all, so I will be calling her this week. But,
I talked to her today. And sound good.
Oh my God, is she in home?
She's home.
She's home.
She's home?
Yeah.
so,
She
I'm
went-
sorry.
She's with her son.
I think it
Yeah,
was
y'all should
one
know.
day, she was, what day, it was a holiday or something. And she said that all of a sudden she couldn't breathe. And then she went to emergency and they diagnosed her with stage 4, like everything.
Oh no.
Yeah, just out of the blue.
Oh, that sucks. She's so nice.
So shower her with love.
I really appreciated the call.
She's been a part of the family for a long time, yes, so.
Many years.
On the happy note, to bring the office up a tad from that, if you don't know, Nancy will be back in the office on Monday.
Yay!
And we're gonna do our best.
I'll be leaving this year. I'm just getting a shit. I don't know what she
We- Come up with your best pranks. We need a prank a day for the next 6 months at least, 3 years. All right, here we go. 90 days from today is January 28th, and it is National Have Fun at Work Day. So perhaps our new culture committee can plan something for that day. We can kick our heels up and have a good time. So this is 3 key points just for our agents in the month of September. We took 71% more listings in September versus the year prior.
Wow.
You guys should be super proud of that as a group, because that is not what happened in the overall market. September actually was really, really, really slow, but not for us. Listing volume year over year is up 36.5%, and our agents had 36% more contracts accepted in that month. So great, those are great numbers. You guys should be proud, and it tells us that you're hustling. So, where are we? We have a lot more choice in listing inventory than we've had in a long time. We're up year over year almost 24%, meaning we've taken 24% more listings year to date. And we've only sold 2.38% more than we did last year, which means we've got 22% more inventory essentially that isn't moving as fast. Y'all feeling that?
Mm-hmm.
Look, I like quadruple checked these numbers when I started. Look at this. The bottom number, It's the full year through the end of September. Look what happened
It's
there.
always been in the 30s.
Yeah, but last year,
Until the last couple of years.
so for those of you who have heard me say last year was rough, last year was a really rough. Nationally, the number was about the same as it was in 19 and 20. Not for us. Okay? And the same thing for sales. Now, we haven't rebounded yet. Look how much the drop off was. So there is more chatter out there right now than I've heard in a long time. And Sarah, if you're watching, you'll appreciate this. I have said for now, it's probably been 2 years, that we just have to hold our breath longer than our competitors. And competitors are not being able to hold their breath anymore. There's a very large national company that just canceled their annual convention.
Oh, I heard about that.
It's a very large national company. Yeah.
Who's the company?
Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's company. They're, not that it's necessarily related to real estate, but just to know, this is, real estate fuels the rest of the economy, right? We know that. And the reason the feds had to raise the rates is so that real estate would slow down the economy. We literally, as an industry, have the power to curb inflation on a nationwide scale, but it's going to have ripple effects. So another thing I read this morning is 55 banks closed their doors, gave up their leases in the state of California last week.
Wow.
Because commercial real estate is too expensive. They're not making enough money to make these leases make sense, and that's going to be the next kind of sweep. Well, commercial real estate, banks, it's all part of our greater real estate world. All right. As of this morning, what is available on the market is up over last month. But so are pendings. Solds are down below last month, makes sense. And the difference in condos is, I'm sorry, this isn't condos. Condos is next. The difference in over 1 million, we're losing inventory there because things are expiring. And it's the first time we've seen that in a while. That's the one thing I want to, we're not seeing them expire under 800,000, by the way. It's over 8. Here, that's what I wanted with condos. Condos are up in terms of actual inventory, and this is the other market. The single family market is still hot. Prices for the most part are appreciating. Condos have just struggled. You're going to see a trajectory line that goes straight down. I think it's going to take 12 to 18 months to gain what we're losing in value in condos back, but it will bounce back. It's going to take a little bit of time.
So you think condos are going to go down?
They have gone down and they're going to continue to go down. Yes.
So would you say that, you think they should, you can afford it interest rate wise, should we buy then and just weather the storm?
Yeah, absolutely. I would. That's where you're going to pick up some value, for sure. For sure.
In condos or just
in condos, houses. And again, it's kind of a perfect storm. We've got HOAs. I don't know how you guys do it. Every Halloween, it's either the wig or it's too much hair. Between the HOAs being delinquent and not having enough reserves and all of the decks that have to be replaced. Until that kind of flows through the system and people catch up on their HOA reserves, because you're taking that on if you buy it.
And they extended the deadline for the HOAs to get their decks repaired because there's so many that are backlogged and there's not enough people to repair them.
What's the due date?
January 2026.
So that's why 12 months to 18 months, that absorbs a lot of that. But then it will come back because we still aren't building enough for sale units and we never will. So it's a short-term blip.
So even if we've owned a unit in a complex that's having problems, you think we should still hold on versus 1031?
If you're cash flow positive, sure. Over time, there's nothing that's gonna happen except appreciation. This allows us to see that we're gaining over last year, obviously, in terms of new listings brought to market, but we're not yet on track with 2022. The blue is 2022. Look how much more inventory we had coming to market. And it was flying off the market, which is why our sold numbers were so high compared to where they're at now. Same thing follows. Okay. We have listed a total of 4,060 units more than we did last year, and a lot of those are in the $1 million to $2 million category, which is no longer considered luxury. However, the days on market for those properties are definitely higher than we've got under $1 million, right? Makes sense. We're gonna have some stats really thrown off. I'm gonna have to take some properties out probably in the next few months. How many of you saw the $100 million property?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There were actually 2 listed in the last month. $200 million property. We've never sold anything over 49 million in San Diego County. So if I didn't take those out of the stats when they sell, it would skew everything. So anyway, keep an eye on those. Go tour them if you can. That would be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
Plus, it's a nice. The one in La Jolla is one of my favorite kayaking spots.
I'm sucking my checkbook.
That'll be gone in 5 years.
Yeah. Well, that's I actually. We were just talking about it. You can see the bluffs back there. It's already.
It'll be gone.
So it's an acre property now. To be reduced. It'll be an acre. All right, active houses last month in each of the price points, $25. All right.
No, he had just had a baby.
Oh, was that you, Emmanuel? That's okay.
Exactly.
Well,
So we know where he is.
All right, so let's look. These should look identical as far as the numbers on the side. That's last month, this month. I went too fast. Last month, 903 properties between 950 and 1.5. 839 now. Today. So most of the stats that I show you are for up through the end of September. This is like live time. So we're actually seeing inventory right in this moment contract, which you typically would see because in November and December, how many people are listing?
Right.
Not unless they're really motivated sellers. So that's why we contract, because we don't have as much new coming. Okay, condos, again, same price points, up to 300 units, they're up a little bit. Tale of 2 markets. Condos are sitting longer. We had a little mastermind earlier. I think it was John. John, was it you who said you had one of you had a listing that had one showing?
Yeah, I just withdrew it. Yeah.
How long did you have it?
Like 60 days, 59 days.
One showing?
Yeah, one phone call.
Is that okay?
There's an insurance issue in the complex too, so that didn't help, but yeah.
But, I mean, how many of you would be going, what happened?
So.
Right.
Like, did I would be on the list?
That wasn't the reason.
All right, now our absorption rates, they're still really strong. They came down just a little bit because September was really slow for September, but they're strong, super strong, telling us we're in aggressive sellers markets in every price point. And again, we will be for the rest of our lives. Those absorption rates, because there's a couple of brand new agents in the room, any of these absorption rates that are over 15%, which they're all significantly over that, indicate a seller's market. Okay, new listings. So this is last year, September, the lowest ever new listings coming in a September. lowest ever for houses in a September. So last year was
Was terrible.
horrible. Yeah. We are better than last year, not quite yet back on the houses to 2022. I actually am really excited. We started to do some of our more extensive planning for the brokerage yesterday, and I told Nancy to add 20% onto all the production numbers, even if you guys don't do any better. I just think the market is going to take us 20% better. Because how much pent-up demand is there? How many people have you had just in this room who have said, we're waiting for something. We're waiting for the interest rates. We're waiting for the election. We're waiting. Well, what's happening? Interest rates are inching down. The election will be over a week from yesterday. And we can all hopefully get to some kind of normal. And things will start moving. And the pent-up demand. People can't stay in the same house forever. Right?
Yeah, I can.
I should say, people who have major life changes, if they had the third or fourth kid, or now they've got to bring mom, we have agents right now bringing their parents back to live with them. The parents are boomeranging.
Yeah.
So you need a different place. Active listings, definitely up over last year, but compared to 2022, not horrible. Pendings, thank goodness they're up over last year, but look how far this dropped from August to September. When I said you would see a line, this is things that went into escrow in the month of September. We don't usually see that happen until October. So we were a month early in terms of our dramatic, even on the condos, dramatic downturn. So the brakes went on. Solds, those lines are
Funny, it's 'cause
fun.
everybody was expecting rates to come down, so the rates came down, but rates actually went up.
I think, just in general, does the world feel like a real secure place right now? No. Anywhere? So, psychologically, if you know anything about Maslow, it says the first thing we need to do to thrive as human beings is have a sense of security. And when that is undermined, what do? The vast majority of people freeze and wait and watch their environment. And then once things feel a little bit more stable and safe, they can start making decisions again. We just saw it. Now, these lines, from an industry standpoint, this is San Diego, from a San Diego real estate industry standpoint, that's painful. This is what happened to the income. This is May. From May to now, we've closed fewer units every month. Greg, are you feeling that out there? It sucks. Greg is a title rep.
Yeah.
He needs lots of units to close to eat.
Yeah.
So when the units go down that bad, the only people who are still okay are the agents today, because your commissions are per deal so high. Everybody else that relies on you for business is sucking wind. It's painful. So hug your vendors, hug your service. I'm really being serious. And this is why you're starting to see people can't hold their breath anymore. I think Sam and Yanni are having success getting escrow partners in because I won't use other company names. It is stressful. This is a stressful business right now. And I have heard some of the most egregious horror stories of escrow treatment that I've heard in probably 15 years. Because the people are just stressed out. And when people are stressed out, do mistakes get more frequent or less frequent?
Should see the faces of the brokers on the statewide broker call. They look like,
we can laugh at it, but it is heavy.
well, I'm a little heavy guy, so my apologies if you think, but I'm just trying to protect you.
I didn't come to you, but now that you mention it, I had a few people go, Robert needs a handler right now.
Oh, he's got one. He's got one.
I need a vacation.
Nobody's stopping you.
Even my vacation wasn't a vacation.
All right, so lowest number of condos sold in September ever in the history of San Diego real estate. I should say, back to the advent of a digital MLS.
96 or something.
Yeah, 97. And second lowest September ever on record for houses. Last year was the lowest.
Wow.
Now, if you remember, what did I say about us? Is our office, you guys were up. You were up in your listings taken, you were up in your contracts accepted. So that makes me feel good. You are, as a group, outperforming the industry by a lot. So you keep doing the right activities that you're doing now, and this starts to help us a little bit. 2025 should be good. Median sales price? Over time, it's going up. We dip because we always dip in the fourth quarter. By February, at least houses will be up over this year's high. I don't know that condos will be by February. I think they're still going to soften. This is, I mean, we're $10,000 under last year's value, September over September. I think that's going to come down. Probably by the end of December, we might see a 630 average on condos. But it won't stay there. That's why there's value implied. And our average appreciation is still ridiculous.
Ashley, you think downtown condos do you feel that same way, or?
I think in general, I haven't looked deep enough. I think they have some fewer of the big issues.
Yeah.
But I also think in a lot of cases, building by building, they're overpriced. And then you have other issues. Jesus, you just closed the one. The homelessness issue. You closed, you had a flood in yours.
I had a flood 2 days before closing.
Oh my God. And they're still underfunded from a.
Yeah, everybody's underfunded.
A lot.
So here's the averages. Again, same thing as the median. They're up. They're going to continue to go up. Yes, they dipped. We're down for condos, down below last year, but it won't stay there. It can't. Supply and demand, it can't stay there. Median active market time. That's really up compared to last year. Now, historically, we've seen a lot of months over 21 and 19 days. But if you're just comparing this September to September, that's a lot more time. Yeah? And likely by December, my guess would be that we'll be at 24, 26 days. That's important to you. If you take a listing, you can't tell them expect it to sell in a week. It's going to take a month. Now, if you're on the market a month and you haven't gotten, like, you've only had one showing or one call and no offers, you're overpriced. And we haven't, every coaching client I have, we're having this conversation right now. We have gone so many years where we haven't had to be real skilled at price reduction conversations. You need to get skilled at that now. If you're in the condo market, for sure. All right, month supply, it's up. 2.6 for houses, 2.9 for condos. Is that a good or a bad thing? I actually think it's a great thing. It's more selection for buyers. Your buyers have a little bit more negotiating room, especially if you have a motivated seller. And I think it's exciting because if we continue to see that, and let's say by January, because usually that's kind of the high point for inventory, low point for activity. If we have 3.5 or 4 months of inventory in January, when people start to kind of come out of their freeze time, you're going to sell a lot of real estate in the first and second quarter.
I think people are already gearing up for that because I'm getting conversations. And my coach has me like putting everybody's name who's like, oh, I'm going to do this in January. So I'm starting to like front load.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, I'm not going to do anything until boom. But
yeah, Well, and Jacqueline went over this several weeks ago. Get the time frame they have, but then also get the rate they're waiting for. So you can kind of keep an eye on both.
But only average that we see a price decline or the graph decline in December anyway.
Say it again.
Do we usually see a drop off in December?
November, yes. What's interesting, so let's go back to Souls.
Because that's kind of what I've been using. Hey, this is the best time because this is.
What's interesting is October and November are a low point, and then December typically spikes a little bit above those two because people are trying to get stuff closed by the end of the year for taxes.
Right.
So it'll pop up a little bit, but yes, it's still low. So September, October, November, December. See that line? Boop. Boop. So you can go back and look. It's always kind of the V.
Yeah, it's kind of what I've been using with all my people. It's like, well, I want to wait till January. Well, January maybe is a bit too late. Oh, no, price will drop.
Yep.
Let's look at November.
Yep. And by the way, that's what everybody else is waiting for.
Yeah.
So not only that, you're going to be competing for more.
Right.
Or with more buyers. All right. Okay, inventory, and then it slid down a little bit more, average list price to sales price. You would expect that because buyers are negotiating a little bit more for lower price. It's still really healthy. 98, I used to have on here 97 or 99% is right where you want to be for average list price to sales price ratio. Now, again, let's fast forward and say 6 months from now, one or two of those $100 million properties sell. Do you think they're going to sell for $100 million?
No.
So Sal was in here earlier and he said on one of the two, he knows for a fact that appraised at $60 million. What's $60 million versus $100 million?
A lot.
What's the percentage?
60%.
It's easy math.
Yeah.
60%. So if I don't take that out, what happens to that? All right, and the price per square foot continues to go up. And I left this, I think I kind of nailed this last month in terms of getting your mindset for you. Everything up till this slide, I gear towards you as agents representing people. So you can take any slide out of here, go use it in your presentations. This question is for you. If we have seen, remember a square foot, how big a square foot is? This is worth $687 in San Diego County. It was $335, so it's doubled in 10 years, over doubled. What's it gonna do in the next 10? You think it's gonna double again?
Could.
I think it's going to. And then another 10. And then another 10. And we sit here going, well, it can't, that's not sustainable. What's going to stop it? What are the factors that have actually led to that? Or have those factors changed? Are we creating more dirt?
No.
So it's inevitable. Even if it doesn't double, or it's going to get close. So the point is, you got to get your foot in the market. You've got to. Now, this is extreme. San Diego, you just came, was it Bo? Will, sorry. You came from the Bay Area.
Yeah.
You lived that.
In San Francisco, yeah.
Yeah. Are prices coming down? They flattened.
Yeah, I mean, there's just not much inventory, so that's keeping prices sort of elevated.
Well, that's our problem too.
Yeah.
Are they building more inventory?
No, absolutely
They can't.
not. No.
There you go. So this is not artificial inflation. It is an inflation of our prices based on the fact we can't build more.
Houses. No.
Houses, condos, anything.
Well, that's what you're everywhere.
For sale units.
Yeah,
The stuff going up everywhere is rental units.
All rentals.
Yeah. So I mean, you could build more. It's just that it's already slated for apartments.
Well, and yes, that and let's say a builder, and this might, depending on how our election goes, and if the money comes into the construction industry to build 3 million more homes, things could change. They're not changing tomorrow. They're not changing next year. They're not changing in 5 years. So in that amount of time, we're gonna see this appreciation for sure.
Has anybody heard of or familiar with SB 9? It allows for a single family lot to be split. Is anyone getting any interest on that or questions about it? I'm just super curious.
We have one of our agents working with a developer they're working and finding bigger lots and they're splitting the lots into fours and they're putting 4 1,000 square foot houses as starter homes.
Is that Joe Fair?
Yes.
You should meet Joe Fair.
Okay. So
There's probably a lot of opportunity out there, but just, you just asked a room that is actually fairly, knowledgeable, and
Yeah.
there was a pause.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
go, run
There's a
there.
lot of that ingenuity happening, but until zoning laws change, environmental regulations, and they free up some of this government land in San Diego to build on.
Yeah.
And again, then it's still gonna be 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years before we see it. Yeah.
What about the companies or the developers that are supposed to come in and buy office buildings that are now gonna be even more than and then turn them into condos?
That's what this called too.
So, you know what happened with our building?
Right.
The highest and best use is that, but there's a gap between where financing is for office product and where it costs to build it out as units. And they haven't figured it out yet.
Okay.
So there's a ton of potential here, but and the commercial markets are taking in the shorts. So until that really breaks, which I think will be next year, you're not gonna see that funding come to make those now livable units.
Okay.
They're selling our building again.
Oh, no, they listed it immediately for the same price we tried to sell it for 2 years. Brilliant.
Ashley said that. There's a commercial broker, one of which was, I think I introduced you to about our building that is trying to do redevelopment, but what he's been focusing on is building these, reutilizing these types of buildings where they create almost like a step above a hostel from a studio, where they have your own room, but like shared bathrooms, and it's ideal circumstance for people just out of college that aren't dorm life anymore, but can't afford our housing.
We actually met with them. They put an offer in on our building, and
Yes.
again, the same thing, they couldn't get the funding to get there to.
But I think that there's a lot to something for an area like ours.
Well, they have an area called SROs.
SROs,
Yeah.
the
They
city of
just
San
got
Diego.
rid of them.
They got rid of a bunch of them downtown, and that's added to the homeless problem.
All right, so and I have a Zoom I need to jump on. So, monthly indicators, basically this says nationwide, it was slow in September, but because supply and demand is an issue everywhere, prices are up. And I did adjust this based on what they've said. Our median home price is $1,050,000. For September it was. The median home price across the country is $416,000. We are blessed. You as agents are blessed. The amount of money you make for the same job somebody else does somewhere else. I just always want to remind that, because those of us that are paid more on units than volume aren't sharing in that plenty with you. Hug your title reps, hug your escrow people.
Don't forget
And
the
invite
lender.
them.
And hug your lender extra time. And then inventory levels are up. That's it. Tale of two markets, condos and houses. Condos are just gonna be kind of a shit show for the next year.